better as a result of social media presence.
If it doesn't do those three things, then it's on the chopping block.
It's a return on investment discussion.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Daily Dealer Live. I'm your host, Sam Dellerick, and back with me co-hosting today is the Yuli DiMartino. Yuli, welcome back.
Guys? Thank you.
Yuli, guess where I am today? I'm in a secret location, but I'm going to tell you exactly where I am. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Tonight we've got the open house and the new facility celebration for our Ziegler Subaru Fort Wayne facility. So as I said on Friday, if you're in the Fort Wayne market, if you're around, come by, say hi. We've got a big party here between 5 and 7 p.m. Everybody's welcome, dealers, vendors, everybody across the Fort Wayne market. This is such a cool city and awesome. Such a great town for automotive. It's our second store here. We have a JD Byrider store and the Subaru store is second. We've had it, year and a half, almost 2 years, I guess, but ground up reno. That was painful. It's painful to build stuff, Yuli.
I bet. No, it absolutely is. Well, congratulations to getting it done and the grand reopening.
Yeah, congrats to the teams for bringing it back. So, and for everybody joining our live stream today, as a reminder, we're live across all CDG social media platforms. Post those comments. We'll bring them into today's show. And Yuli, I feel like I say this every time, but what a show we've got today. We've got a huge show coming up. And first off, just to tease a little bit about what we have coming up, make sure you have your comments in there because they help us with the show. Many have asked ChatGPT, what do I do with it? What do I do with AI? How do I engage and interact with it? And in fact, here at Ziegler, today we had a team training call with, have you heard the name Jim Craig? Do you remember who Jim Craig is? He's an Olympic hockey gold medalist. He was the goalie on the famed Olympic team that beat the Russians back in the 1980s.
Okay.
The Disney film Miracle on Ice is based on it. He does some consulting with us. He comes in once a month and gets our team that wants to be leaders onto a call. And he asked today, he said, look, I'm old. Most of you are young. He said, one of the things with AI, ChatGPT and others, is he's like, who's going to explain it? Who's going to own it? And who's going to explain it to somebody like me? And it really got me thinking, one of the biggest obstacles to the newest, greatest tech is figuring out how to connect it to other generations so that it makes sense and so that it actually works. And today, for all the ChatGPT talk we've had, Yossi and the team at CDG put out an email, 5 hacks. Well, we've got an individual on today's show, Kilway, and his whole purpose in talking with us today is to explain some of the hacks he's created in ChatGPT to help run automotive better. So I'm excited to get to that. Plus, we've got AutoGenius on Untapped Markets. But first, let's dive into today's headlines. So first up today, August was a blockbuster month for new EVs. It's no shocker as the incentives tick down to zero. Sales hit a record 146,000 units, up 14% from July and nearly 18% higher than last year, lifting market share to an all-time high of 9.9% per Cox Automotive. A whopping 13 brands notched their best EV sales this year, with Tesla still leading the pack at 55,000 units. Honda, with only the Prologue on the lot, surged nearly 48% month over month to grab 6.4% market share. And Audi was the standout luxury brand, up 65% to more than 7,300 units. However, that demand chewed through inventory. EV days supply fell to just 62 days in August. By the way, that is intentional. Speaking as a retailer looking to get rid of the EVs before the incentives go away, it's the lowest level today on lots of 2025, down from a June peak of 133. Toyota had the leanest supply at just 14 days, while GMC sat on the highest at 139. What's the bottom line here? Well, buyers are clearly pulling ahead of the September 30 tax credit cutoff. Demand is strong now, but the real test comes in Q4. And you are seeing some really interesting, promotional stuff going on out there in retail right now. Tesla, you pointed out in our prep call today, is advertising all over. Hey, just order that EV by September 30 and you're okay. we all know, or at least have been explained, you got to validate this on your own, that as long as the paperwork is signed, those EV sales are good, even if the delivery ends up happening after the 30th. You got to test that. Don't take our word for it, because I'm not legal advice, but that's what I've heard, what I understand. So it's going to be a fascinating race to the end. It's our last full week in retail sales, selling EVs under these rebates. Next week, we've got a couple days left, and then it's over. It's over. And then we'll see what the real demand is. So, all right. Time for an M&A tracker, cdgbuySell.com tracker. QR. There we go. Doesn't that just make you happy? Every time, what was the movie that says something about angels' wings and like on a Christmas tree and all that? Anytime a car dealership is sold in the U.S., cdgbuySell.com will report on it. That's right, and we'll be there. The Hadley Automotive Group is expanding its footprint again, this time by picking up its first Chevrolet store. The family-owned group acquired Lakeside Chevrolet in Rockwell, Texas from the Grady family and will rename the store Hilly Chevrolet, according to the Deal Advisor Performance Brokerage Services. The move gives Hilly 11 dealerships across the Dallas-Fort Worth area, a great marketplace, by the way, plus 3 more in Huntsville, Alabama. I wanted to go to Huntsville, Alabama as a kid because I wanted to go to Space Camp. You probably don't remember this. You're too young for it. But I remember Space Camp, the movie. It was in Huntsville.
Yeah.
I had the brochures. I put down, I wanted to put a deposit. I wanted to be a space. I wanted to go to space. So what's the big picture with these acquisitions? Props to them for picking up 3 more in Alabama, Huntsville. With the addition of a domestic brand, Hilly could be opening the door to a whole new customer base. And that is correct. And if you want to learn more about acquisitions right now, go to cdgbuySell.com. Next up today, Hyundai is recalling nearly 600,000 vehicles across 3 separate issues, according to federal regulators. The biggest recall is more than 568,000 Palisade SUVs from 2020 to 2025 for faulty seatbelt buckles that may or may not latch. The company is also on notice for 31,000 Ioniq 6 EVs because the charging port doors could detach, as well as a small batch of 8 Ioniq 5s over loose wheel bolts. Hyundai says the Palisade defect likely affects only about 1% of vehicles, but owners will be notified by November 10th and can get all repairs done free at dealerships, of course. And for dealers, these recalls are, of course, golden opportunities in the service center, potentially bringing thousands of vehicles back into service bays and giving stores fresh customer touch points if those are handled correctly. And hopefully they are at all dealerships everywhere across these United States. And finally up today, last on the docket is Porsche, which just took a massive 1.8 billion euro hit after delays in its EV rollout forced the automaker to slash its 25 outlook. The company now expects an operating return on sales of just 2%, down from its earlier forecast of 5 to 7. Parent company Volkswagen is also lowering its guidance and recording a 3 billion euro impairment tied to Porsche. Zooming out, this is Porsche's 4th guidance cut this year as cooling EV demand, tariffs, and high costs continue to drag on profitability. And as a result, the flagship SUV that was supposed to launch as fully electric will now come in combustion and hybrid versions. Good play, Porsche. I think hybrid is what customers want anyway. Takeaway here, Porsche's retrenchment is the clearest signal yet of a major reset in electrification strategy among European lawmakers. And with that, that's a wrap on today's news this Monday, September 22nd.
I'm excited for the show, man.
I am too. All right, Yuli, but before we get there, let's talk guests. So if you're a dealer, if you have an opinion, if you want to be part of this voice that is Daily Dealer Live, part of this show, this is the voice of automotive. There's nothing else like it. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. We're live here every week. Dealers, if you want to join the show, go to cdgguest.com. Fill out our intake form to be considered for a future guest spot. We'd love to have you on the show. And then we can't go into today's show without talking about our NADA party. The car dealership guy is back with our second NADA party happening in Las Vegas on Thursday, February 5th. It's the hottest ticket at NADA 2026 with special guests and top automotive personalities. We'll be there as well. We're not top automotive personalities, but we will be there. We refuse to not be there. To be considered for a formal invite, just hit the link in the show notes, request to join, and fill out the questionnaire. So if you're listening to this not live, go to the show notes. If you are live, you can follow the link in the comments down below. We hope to see you all there. All right, without further ado, let's turn to VP of Digital Ops at Casa Auto Group, Jarrod Kilway. Jarrod, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How's everybody?
It's great to have you, Jarrod. Welcome to the show. All right, before we go in and ask you how's biz, because we're going to ask that, along with that, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at Casa Auto Group.
Yeah, so I am the Vice President of Digital Operations over here at Casa. So I'm tasked with really working with the team on process management, execution of anything and all things digital. So been in the industry 22 years, worked with a couple of notable people who have been on your show before. But it's a lot of fun, and I'm excited with the changing landscape of what we deal with day in, day out.
All right, which notable people have you worked with? Let's name drop.
The one and only Mr. Brian Kramer. So.
Oh, okay, very good.
Nice.
You know what? Isn't he insightful? Like you get him in front of you and just ask him all about all things used cars, and he always has incredible insights. So
that's awesome. I can tell you quite a bit of stories on that one, but yes, working together down at Germain and putting together the Metaverse project and many of other tasks that he was pushing my way. So it's a lot of fun to work with people like him and the team over at Casa that are really trying to test the limitations of what we deal with day in, day out.
Yeah. So speaking of testing limitations, so how's biz? What's business look like today at Casa Auto Group?
Biz is growing. We grew. We actually entered the Arizona market here earlier this year. So dealing with some new stores, some new OEMs, and continuing learning, but also taking in a new demographic and new geolocation. It's really exciting for me to be able to have Arizona now on the map and be able to test some of these things we're going to talk about today to really assess the market of what it is there at that store.
So speaking of that, that's a great segue. AI, ChatGPT, it's just all the rage. It's a buzzword almost right now. And I'll be in rooms with general managers, dealers, and other people, and everyone knows it's here. Everyone has had that moment of aha when you see ChatGPT do something astounding. But what's tough is to connect that aha of, I can't believe it can do that, to execution. And as you know, Jarrod, we're all in automotive 100% about execution. So tell us a little bit about, you created some custom GPTs. First, tell us what the heck that is, and then what led you to develop this?
Yeah, so in essence, what I did, I was able to aggregate all of our DMS data, CRM data, inventory data, match that to our operational data of Google AdWords, Google Analytics, website, experience, social media channels, paid social results through Meta Business Manager. In essence, was able to connect everything into one instance. So it is completely secure and private, which I think we need to kind of start there, is that privacy element of the data. Everybody on the call, don't go take your financial statement or extract all your customer lists and go and run it into ChatGPT.
Why? Tell us why, Jarrod. Why is that a bad idea?
Because there's smart people like myself and Brian Kramer and Ben Hadley that could go and extract that through queries because that is open and public at that point.
So how did you isolate it? You used a word. You said it's in a separate environment. It's in a protected environment. How do you do that? What does that mean?
So in essence, connecting through API integrations. Everybody in the space has heard of API, whether it's one of your CRM vendors, but ChatGPT has a API element which you can tie into. So I have created a safe space that houses all of this data as one big pile, and then using that through the API to GPT to query that information that already exists, so that it's not public.
And for these ChatGPT solutions that you've created, you're about to share with us, What is the API that you use to create that safe, protected space to upload this to?
Yep. So that is, we in essence built I built a data clean room, so it's extracting everything and it's on AWS. That is something I can query at any time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not out of the box. It's not something I just went and bought off the shelf. It did take some time to build it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had Steve, I think it was Steve Greenfield came on the show a few weeks ago, and he said, hey, in our world today, it's not the tool or the solution, because the bar to creating new AI solutions is low. Like it's inexpensive. And he kept saying, hey, it's easy to create the solution. He said it's the problem. And he said dealers who are super sharp will identify the problem, and then they can actually quickly go to executing and creating a solution. How did you get the skill set to be able to say, hey, I'm going to create an API, I'm going to create this protected area? Like, what's your background that helped you to get to that point?
So my background, I've been 22 years in automotive, both retail, OEM, vendor space. My previous regime too, coming to Casa, I was actually with an AI company in automotive space in the very early ages that has now exited. But I've learned a lot through the years, and it's one of the things of finding a solution for things that you don't know are broken yet. So it's trying to think 5 years in advance beforehand. Yeah. So, the one thing I used to get, and I still get, it's the, hey, I'm going to an NADA 20 group. What's my average ROI per marketing dollar spend? Or, yes, hey, I need to go sell 15 more Sentras between now and the end of the month. Yeah. What do we do? And it gives the ability, okay, go look at all of our specials off our website. Go to look at all of our historical sold data based upon zip code of, hey, historically, this is where we sell into. This is the market that created that sale. This is their APR average. This is the income level. This is all of these dynamics, and then stack all of that together to launch and deploy a specific target on that one model to that audience that we know has the highest propensity to purchase. So it's just trying to think more quickly. I used to do it with Excel spreadsheets, which used to take me an hour, 2 hours to do, to be able to really configure everything, dial it in. It's now I can get results in a matter of a minute. So the time savings.
So Yoga Cars had a great comment. Yoga Cars says, unless you anonymize your data off AI, you are at the mercy of AI until the next data leak. Agreed?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is the privacy. All right, so let's back up a little bit. You gave us a little bit of a tease just a minute ago on this. So when you think about the different tools you've created, when you think about the most successful tool, what is the problem that you are looking to solve with this tool?
The main problem really looking to solve is the ability for the general managers to take action and take action quickly without having to necessarily call me or send me an email or jump on a Zoom call. It's the ability to give them, in essence, Jarrod in a box that can answer a question if they're at a 20 group or an NADA academy that need to get specific information. They can have it very, very quickly.
And so give us an example of a question that they would come up with at a 20 group or in making an ad buying decision.
What's our website bounce rate? What's our unique visitors based upon sessions? What is our referral traffic coming from our AutoGenius auto group site, etc. They may not have that knowledge right away, but they can pull it, and it'll give them everything in a digestible format.
So before you talk about the tool you implemented to get them to that point, I'm a GM at your auto group. I have this question about bounce rate. I'm at a 20 group. Where do I go to get that? Do I log into a chat GPT? Do I log into a tool? Where do I go?
No, so you as a GM have a secure link to your store and your store's GPT data that you will be able to query.
Okay. And it looks like the chat GPT interface, right? But it's secure
Similar.
And I have my own login. Okay.
Yeah, it's similar to it. And then what I've done is built the most frequent prompts. So kind of like the most frequent questions that are getting asked to it. So they can go, you could literally say, okay, is it in this list of 5 or 6 things? And you'd be able to click a button. It'll give you results right there.
And is this a real-time integration, like back and forth?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll call the Safe Space API cloud where the data is housed. and then we're getting the information from Techion or DMS or
Whoever
the provider is. We're getting that information in real time to that safe space.
Wow.
All right, let's test this. Do you also have an enterprise version that allows it to all flow up to multiple rooftops? Are you able to like say, hey, here for all of Casa Auto Group, here's the metric of the result? Yes.
So that is something that I'm actually working on right now.
Okay.
I had to get it on the store level, child level first, and now it's going to roll up reports. Correct.
Okay. All right. So let's test this live. You don't have to tell us which store. Pick a store, any store. Who's your number one most effective digital lead provider, aside from the dealership website?
Let me pull it.
I love it.
Now, by the way,
you said dealership website, except
Yeah.
for that.
Except for that. By the way, if you can do this, how cool is that to actually be able to make decisions in advertising digital dollar spend that are effective
Real-time.
rather than having to scramble around and prep for a meeting beforehand? So let's.
I just
Who
did
is
it. Car now.
Car now.
Provider.
Interesting.
Okay.
So it's not website, but it
Yeah.
sits on site. But that's
And
the one that.
By how much? And Jarrod, does it ever make mistakes? Like, do you have to go back and say, hey, wait, that's not right? Or is it pretty accurate?
In the beginning, when it was training, it was, okay, I have to inspect the expect every single time. And then it got into, okay, I can do 5 queries, 6 queries, and then I can go, okay, something looked off, go and retrain. But now it's been running about 30, 45 days consistently. Now it's to a point where I inspect it every day just to kind of recap, but you'll know if it kind of short circuits and you know, just spazzes out on you. And you can get a good sense of, oh, yeah, your bounce rate's 90%. Okay, something's not working correctly. So you'll be able to pick up on instances very quickly.
So
but
your 30
your percentage that you were looking for is 4%.
Wow, that's good. That's good. And at the point you could get that for the entire group, how powerful that's going to be. All right. So before you give us how the sausage is made in between, you've been on it only 30, 45 days, right? Are you able to quantify the impact of easily having this information accessible to GMs to increase sales, increase, better spend on ads? I mean, is there a quantifiable impact of having this at this point?
Not yet.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be something that I'm going to review here end of Q4 once I have 2 full quarters of data running through it to see what really is the impact. But then also how has it made everybody else's job easier and what can we learn from this information?
And then you improve it, you make it better, right?
Oh, well, and then it comes down to, we think of all the different tools we have, connecting it into an AccuTrade or something like that for vehicle information. I don't have it connected yet, but what if we did that and then built out something that could go scale and review every car for sale by owner on Facebook Marketplace and automatically pull the ones to it and reach. I mean, it's endless of where it could go. Yeah. But it's right now, and that's the exciting thing for me. It's okay. Here's where it is in infancy stage. Where can this become in 2, 3, 5 years from now for impact?
So did you have to talk someone into allowing you to do this? Like the executive leadership team, when you went to them and said, hey, I got a great idea. I'm going to load all of our info into this AI tool and it's going to spit out automatically information to GMs. They're going to use it as a resource. Were they like, wait, hold on. Like privacy implications, data security, like all the things, incorrect info. Was there somebody you had to sell, quote unquote, on the idea?
No, so the idea actually came about with ownership as we were looking for a way to standardize and simplify our, an OTB report or a daily recap report. And it's kind of where this originated from. And I'm like, okay, I can see value, but now how much more can I get out of this? So what if I took this information from the DMS and the CRM and pulled it in to have one centralized report? But now if I could do that and layer on marketing data, analytic data, results data, now that just makes this even more powerful for us to be able to utilize and scale to a whole different level.
And then why did you decide to create your own tool versus go to someone else? And then I'd love to have you walk us through what the tool is and then how can a dealer practically do this today? But why do it yourself?
Just to your point, were the concerns of data privacy and data health. Data to me is one of the most important things. And I feel that is one of my most important jobs is to protect that information, protect that data. Yeah. So I look at that as my, the Brinks armored truck driver. That's me of the dealership, and nobody's getting into it. So I make. And sure
are you the AI expert at your store then at the organization? Are you the person people go to if they want to understand?
It's myself, and the beauty of it is I have Mike, our marketing director. He's the creative side of it, so he uses it so much AI for creative, for script writing, for overlays, for everything we need on that side. And we kind of work in tandem on a lot of different things, but data, information, analytics, that's kind of my bread and butter.
Okay. So I'm a car dealer. I'm watching this show. I've heard ChatGPT. I've heard you talk about the solution and the benefit. What can I do to create something similar to what you have?
So first and foremost, sign up and you have to use the paid version of ChatGPT. And from there, you can get API access.
Okay.
Step one. Step two is looking at your current tech stack, CRM, DMS. Those are going to be the ones that take a little bit of time, but they will have APIs that are open that you can use to query.
Wait, so now just back up. So that means, if I understand you correctly, you do the paid version. I think it's like $200 a month. I actually saw it last night when you played with it, right?
Yep.
And let's say CDK, eLeads, whoever, if there's an integration into CDK, I can actually link this paid protected version right into the DMS, and it will call for information. Okay.
Close.
Okay.
So that's step three. You're getting excited, which I love.
I am excited because somebody is about to explain what the heck is going on. Like, I have not understood it yet. Everybody's like, oh, it's so easy. Just do this, that. I'm like, wait, it's not that easy. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it. So go ahead. Step two. What's step two?
So step two is, reach out to, CDK, which they have their Fortellis integration API cloud, which you can have access to DMS and CRM data. So you get approval from them, and now you have that integration. Step three,
you do it in your e-store, right?
Yep, your e-store.
Create the integration. Yep.
And then step three is you're setting up your AWS data clean room. So your data clean room for everything from CDK, from everything from your VIN solutions or Tekion or whatever information you're feeding it, you set that to run to your AWS data clean room.
Who do you call it AWS to create up this data clean room? Is this the same thing as a CDP or a data lake, or is it different?
Very similar. I was looking at the angle as we're in CDP discovery conversations that we may transfer over to that instance. But right now I needed a solution. So I just went on AWS and then I used ChatGPT to, hey, how do I use and set up a data clean room on Amazon Web Server? And it gave me 40 pages of information, instructions how to do it.
Wow.
And then I connected the APIs from ChatGPT to the clean room, from CDK's API to the clean room, and then Google Analytics, Meta Business Manager, etc. So all that information now is utilizing everything that's protected in one instance and not pushing it out.
So how are you comfortable that as you put it into that clean room, it doesn't, like, who has the liability if there's a data breach out of this quote unquote clean room? Is it AWS? Is it you? Is it, who is it? Yeah.
No, that'd be AWS, and that's part of their security elements of it.
Okay. All right. So now the API is live, and in automotive, we all know APIs from all the integrations to the CRM, to the DMS and F&I, right? It's that crazy thing that fails a lot on a Saturday, last Saturday of the month, and you can't call contracts or pricing or print anything out, right?
When you forget to decode and put the county in, and you can't push deals, yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So everybody has familiarity with APIs. All right, what's the next step?
So then it's training. So then it's running different questions against it and starting measuring results. And then it's enhancing that API through GPT of giving feedback. So when you have that and you pay for that API, you can provide feedback of this was wrong, this didn't, pull it in correctly, etc. You start feeding it back information every single day to make it better and better as you get growing.
So that would be my other question, Jarrod, is there are all sorts of different formats. You're getting data from, let's say, a CRM and a DMS and from Google Analytics and different lead providers, and you're just putting it all in this space. Like, there are different formats. They're organized in different ways. They mean different things. How do you get them all to play well with each other?
Different naming conventions, even.
Right.
Yep.
So is that part of the AI thing that's just pixie dust? Okay.
No, it's not pixie dust. You have to tell the AI, first name here in this field is equal to customer.
There's
first
mapping.
Name.
Got it.
100. There's a lot of mapping.
That's part of the training that you're talking about. Not only you have to ask it the question, you need to tell it where to find the answer and how to find the answer, right?
Correct. Before you can ask it a question to provide data results to you, you have to take the time to go tell it to map first name from field A to customer first name from field Z16 equal each other. So that's part of that first discovery phase to it. And it takes time but the benefit's worth it.
So as you set up that integration with the API and you push the data in, does it just automatically prompt you for that? Or do you have to tell it, hey, I need you to prompt me for this?
No, I sit there and tell it what to connect in terms of data points.
How to think about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just how to consume it. It's no different than, if you think about it, how we are trained to go read a financial statement. And when you're training somebody at the store, okay, here's your advertising credits, here's your advertising cost. This is what that means. That's in essence what you're same thing you're doing to the GPTs with this data field. This field equals this equals this to it. So
what's the most surprising? As you did this, and you did this for the first time, like you're experiencing and discovering something that's not been done by you or anybody around you. What was the thing that was most surprising? Like, was there a takeaway where you're like, holy cow, that's cool. Like, I never knew that. I was surprised that could be done.
Actually, if something I found, I was just querying it yesterday, or not yesterday, but last week. And it was something I was just like, oh, I wonder, what's our close rate of leads that are older than 21 days?
Oh, I want to know these things. The fact I don't have this drives me nuts. Okay, good.
Right? Someone was like, oh, this store. I'm like, oh, we're only at 2% close rate on these leads. Okay. And now it's like 21 days and older. Okay. Now identify which lead sources have the highest and lowest engagement after 21 days. Yeah. Okay. And now it's a situation of why. So then you can take this back and I can have a conversation with that e-com director and say, hey, here's the data. Let's go inspect this a little bit further. Is this a people, a process, or a provider? Which one of those is the problem here? So that we can identify it and make adjustments to continue to grow and get better.
Very cool.
So what did this cost you all in? So the integration, the AWS space, the subscription, I think $200 a month or whatever. What is the cost of this?
It ended up costing me in terms of just integration cost and some software costs. Ended up costing me right about $1,000. And then of course there's the ongoing pieces that subscription. No, just upfronts was about $1,000 and it runs between
that's wild
$800 to $1,200 a month based upon how much data we're feeding it. How many calls we're doing
total for all the rooftops, stuff. Right?
Yeah,
not individually.
Yeah, but a lot of those are paid per calls of the API. So if you do it a lot more, it's going to go up. If you don't do it as much, it goes down.
And who charges that? Is that AWS or is it the source of the data through the API?
Everybody charges for data. Everybody's charging. Everybody's got their hand out. So I mean, you're paying.
It's like a toll.
GPT. Yeah, it's exactly like a toll. So.
In every direction.
Yep.
But the ChatGPT side is just a monthly flat, right? So it would be.
But they limit you. But they limit you to how many calls of the API.
Ah, got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Huh.
That makes sense. So Lauren asks a great question. She says, does it do things like help your desk managers write better deals or your inventory manager better position your lot? She's asking that.
So
Which
it's funny. It's so funny she says that. I was with David Long's morning clubhouse room, and somebody mentioned, it's like, gosh, what if you just took all your F&I lender docs and uploaded to this, and you could literally have your F&I guys figure out based upon DTI and score and rank, this could almost make it so that this would just tell them which bank is the best option based upon the customer's dynamic,
Yes.
and be able to give you a profitability scale of which bank you should send it to.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like taking notes. I'm like, okay, let's add this to future planning. So that's something I have penciled that I want to add to it. But I think that'd be critical for the F&I team.
It's one of those things where you don't know what you don't know, right? So as you're going through this seemingly limitless configurability of this system, it's like you can really get down to the nitty gritty. It's really remarkable. I mean, I'm curious to see what questions you come up with in the future and how you can, action that out.
Yeah, no, myself as well.
So it's interesting. Why do you think so many of the AI providers charge so much for their technology right now? So I always give the example of one of a store out there that paid a $4,000 setup fee, $4,000 a month. It was a bolt-in to their CRM. They had no idea what it was doing, but they paid it just because it seemed like cool tech. You set this up for $1,000 and you've got some nominal, you describe it, monthly fees. Like, why are some of the providers paying so much when you can do so much on your own?
I think it comes down to time, but it also comes down to our mindset in automotive. We are very reactionary, and we are also very focused on the 30-day window.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things is I need that shot in the arm now. This something can help me sell 10 more cars a month. Yeah, I go pay $3,000 for it, but I'm selling 10, 12 more cars, or I'm solving for something like an overnight lead volume. And hey, I'm getting 60% of my leads overnight. I have to have AI to be able to respond to these after hours, or else I'm going to get hosed because the two stores that I'm in competition with have something. I'm never going to get that engagement. So I think that's the difference to it is this is help operational AI.
Yeah.
This is more operational kind of leadership management type of things. What you're mentioning are tools that are generative and conversational AI tools that help fill a void and or gap of our day-to-day operation.
Yeah. Tyler LeBlanc says when you talk about that F&I tool, Select FI does that, right? So Select FI apparently does the feature that you're talking about relative to providing finance feedback. So if you were to, and we've only got a couple minutes left, the producers are saying we got to go, we got to go, we got to go. But I just want a couple more questions. Such an exciting topic to me. What would you do differently if you were building this again today from scratch? What's a takeaway that another dealer wanting to replicate what you've done could learn from?
I wouldn't have waited. I would not have waited. I waited probably 6 months after just initial thoughts to do it. I would have started right then, right there. Even if it's simply as starting with a CRM or DMS integration request, because that does take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So, and that could slow you down, and then we get distracted, and now it's by the wayside. So, biggest thing I would say takeaway is if you're thinking about it, start now, make a plan, draw a plan out of where you want this to be in a year, and try and get from 1 year to 6 months, and then continue to grow in it.
I love that advice. So it's with GMs right now. Who's your next rollout? This will be our last question because they're driving me nuts to go.
No, I love it. So the next piece I'm going to be rolling this to is our e-com team for a better accountability across the day-to-day operations.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, I got to tell you, this is a fascinating conversation, Jarrod Kilway. You've explained things to us that everybody wants to know with specific steps on how to achieve those next steps, which is awesome. So VP of Digital Ops at Casa Auto Group, Jarrod Kilway, thanks for joining the show. And thanks for sharing your perspectives on all things Chat GPT. By the way, a lot of the prompts that were in the CDG email and newsletter that went out came from you. So those are tried and tested in that environment as well. So Jarrod Kilway, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Jarrod.
No, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me so much.
And guys, now a quick note from our sponsors, Toma. So most voice AIs frustrate customers and waste everybody's time, but only Toma customizes AI agents to your dealership. So calls actually get resolved. That's why top dealer groups trust Toma to automate their phones. Visit www.toma.com/CDG to learn more. And I want to do the Sam thing here. If you can figure out how to use your phone and scan the QR code here, you'll be good to go. You can hop right in. So we just want to say thank you again to Toma for sponsoring the show and letting us do what we do best.
Giving voice to all of automotive. That's awesome.
That's right.
So, all right, next up, let's dive into this today's industry pulse. Of course, there has to be a cool graphic for that. Yeah,
there it is.
All right. At Sawyer Merritt on X posted something that got a lot of traction over the weekend. He claims that all the cars on the market today, what do the best selling car, the fastest production car, the safest car, and the most American-made car have in common? So think about this. What do all these cars have in common? Best selling, fastest production, safest, and most American-made car have in common. I don't know if I'm going to agree on this, but we'll go down this rabbit hole. They are all EVs, which got us to thinking then, why are they so hard to sell?
That's so true.
I don't think they're hard to sell. I just think politics has pushed demand. Politics has tried to push EV demand beyond what it naturally is. And infrastructure hasn't been there. Consumer understanding, education, and appetite hasn't quite yet been there. And, and then there's and then battery technology in the past hasn't been there. I'm of the belief, Yuli, that as the incentives peel away, we're going to get to some sort of a natural demand. And it's going to be different all across the country based on geography, how much infrastructure there is in different geographies. But there will be demand, and it'll probably surprise some people where that sits. The big mistake, and I mean, this is politics, but the big mistake was government tried to create demand where there just wasn't demand. And they tried to force infrastructure where there wasn't infrastructure, and it was costly. And by the way, nobody wants to have this debate, but they've made that mistake during things like COVID and whatnot else. Create scarcity, don't create oversupply. When you want to push out an initiative, create exclusivity and create scarcity. Don't flood a market. When something can become too easy to get, nobody's willing to pay anything. It takes me back to my English roots as an English major. What we get to, I forget what the quote is, but whatever we can get to easily, we don't value. And that's the case with EV. That's the case with a lot of different things the government does. Government is a very blunt instrument in the marketplace.
And listen, and it's also not a one size fits all approach. I mean, this was a very easy, or rather relatively easy adoption for Europeans, because the way society is set up is so completely different. We live in the United States of America. We have a vast amount of terrain to travel every single day. So, I mean, EVs just don't fit everywhere, which now I think why it's so exciting to see this evolution, right? The plug-in hybrids, and now what are they called? The EREVs, the EVs with gas generators. Like, that's it, man. If I can drive around and bring a charging station with me, that solves the whole EV adoption problem right there.
All right. Well, that's a wrap on today's Industry Pulse. Fascinating conversation. Thanks for the post to X. You can join the conversation after today's show. and post comments as you want. Just as a segue into our next segment, actually, we'll cover these comments. A lot of great comments online coming from our audience. We'll recap some of them at the very end. But let's head to our next guest, founder of AutoGenius, Ben Hadley. Welcome to the show.
What's good?
Welcome, Ben.
What's happening?
Ben,
How you guys
thanks
doing?
for being here. Doing
This
great.
is so awesome.
Doing great. This is awesome. Thanks for being here and having a voice here in the Voice of Automotive on this Daily Dealer Live show. So before we get into it, I'd love to ask you two questions. How's biz? And as part of that, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at AutoGenius.
Oh, business is crazy. Let's see, our company's grown about 400, 500% over the last 9 months.
Wow.
We have a little bit of an interesting story. I've been in auto since like 2008, about. Earlydealer.com, had a bunch of startups in between, sold them. And we made it a mission to make a startup that was guided by a community. So we created this thing called the AutoGenius community, like 6,000 dealerships now. It represents about 6,000 dealerships now. And they kind of, they're our compass for our product roadmap. And the major problem that we found that nobody could solve was speeding up websites. So we figured out how to increase the speed of any website on the internet by 50%. And that increases your leads 34%. But it's not really what I wanted to share today.
All right.
Actually, what I have for you today actually has a lot to do with what you guys were just talking about.
All right.
Love
How
it.
does it relate?
So I have a Rivian. I had a Model S, right? My family actually, my uncle has 4 dealerships here in Burlington, Vermont. And what I've continually realized through sort of like all the tech adoption cycles was that there was sort of this rebuttal that kept on coming up. Right when I was starting to like introduce websites into the market through dealer.com, people would say, well, why would I want a website? Maybe just a web page with my address on it.
Yeah.
Right? Because if they want to see something, they should just come on in.
Yeah.
And then it became like price transparency. Well, if they want to see that, they should just come on in. And then it became digital retailing. Well, if they want to see that, they should just come on in. And it was like, really? Like, is this going to be like the rebuttal every freaking time?
Right.
And then I
by
realized,
the way, Ben, I get that. Before you say I realize, I get that because in automotive, we've been taught since the early 90s when I got into the car business, we're best when that customer comes in and sits in front of us. And so I get why
totally.
old dogs push back on that idea of turning it over to a more virtual space. So then your thought was, thank you, Ben.
I figured out and sort of started graphing together that a lot of dealerships want to believe they're an optional purchase, but then they start behaving like they're an obligated purchase. You can't have both. And an example of that, you know, if I was the only guy that had water, I can just play a game where I say, I'll wait till they get thirsty.
Sure.
A lot of dealers can play that game. Actually, my uncle here, I think his Audi store, yeah, you have to drive like 3.5 hours to go get an Audi in Boston. Like otherwise, you know, I got the water, man. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want an Audi? Come on in.
You have, yeah.
But that also explains why dealers are really hesitant to innovate. Because if you got the water and you can just literally wait until people get thirsty, then why do I need all this tech? Like, why do I need to do all these things? The aha moment for me, do you remember, I don't know if it was like 2016, 17, somewhere in there. Cox Auto had a study. It was like customers hate spending 3.5 hours in a dealership.
Yes. Which we've known for a long time. Yes.
But here's how I would test your brain to see if you're a little too data drunk.
Okay.
What did your brain immediately go and try to optimize in that sentence?
The time in the store.
The number.
Yeah.
Right? We actually have gotten so short-term thinking in automotive that what we immediately beam into is, well, I'll take that 3.5 hours. I'll make it 45 minutes. Our minds skip over the word hate.
Yeah.
which is crazy because we might just make a 45-minute process people hate. In other words, there's no such thing as a fast cruise ship, right? Like a cruise ship is slow as hell, and that is actually part of the experience.
Right.
Yeah.
If I went to go get a Hermes purse, the 18 months that I have to wait to get my wife that purse is actually a benefit. She gets to brag that she's getting such a rare. Oh, I have to. Same with Ferrari buyers, same with Porsche buyers. You know, if you have a black Submariner on your wrist right now, you could probably just walk into a Rolex place and grab it. The guys that brag about their Rolex are like, no. I've got the ceramic Daytona, It took like 18 years for them to finally get, you know.
So Ben, this strategy that you're talking about, this is what you call the blue ocean strategy. And this is an idea of creating a space that is uncontested. It's taking it above price. It's taking it above all the traditional constraints of automotive. And it's creating a space where the value delivered to a buyer or a consumer is so high that they become comfortable in that space, even in the face of different competitive facets,
100%.
different marketplace facets, and all that. So when you think about creating that space, what are some of the steps to getting there? Like to a dealer listening today saying, you know what, I get that. I see the need for a space where I don't have to compete on price, where I don't have to compete on availability of a particular vehicle or features. I want to compete on value and delivering an excellent customer experience.
So the first thing I think to figure out is where are you on the axis of optional to obligated, right? My uncle actually really can just play in this obligated space, right? Like he can absolutely hang out there and crush the market because the market has basically been dominated, and I'm not going to use the word monopoly, but he owns the market, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you're in a metro area with like 20 competitors around you, then as soon as we switch from a customer saying, well, I'm obligated to buy a car because I live in America. And how that kind of has to do with the EV thing is that a lot of people hate their obligations, and an EV is obligating me to also get a charger, and it's obligating me to stop at a place for 25 minutes to charge it, and it's obligating me, and it's actually adding net more obligations.
The Diderot effect.
100%. The brilliant thing with Tesla, to the point earlier, was they made it the wait list, right? That wait list became a benefit. And
they created scarcity. That's my whole point. Yes.
100%.
You create
100%.
scarcity. If the government had created scarcity around EVs, people would be clamoring for them. There's
100%.
certain health initiatives that if there'd been scarcity around being able to get this thing or that thing, people would have paid a lot of money to go get it. And that's this space you're talking about where you don't have to compete on price. You can compete on the value delivered by it. So
neither is right. Like what I'm saying is I'm suggesting there's multiple ways to exist as a dealership. We've all known that. And what I've kind of created is a map to get you into the strategy or reflect the strategy that you want to find the blue ocean. Your blue ocean might be experiential. Cool. We can get you there. Your blue ocean might be more towards instant gratification. Get you there as well.
So if I'm a dealer sitting watching this and I'm like, okay, I kind of get what you're talking about. Some of it's like nebulous, right? What are some specific steps I could look for to figure out that blue ocean for my own business? Like,
Can we pull up the graph?
Space? Yes. Producer Sam, could you please give us the graph? And by the way, to our audience, don't freak out when you see this graph because this graph is very busy, but go ahead.
It's crazy. But
Ben.
What you're looking at is a magic quadrant, and you're looking at the bottom portion is optional purchases.
Okay.
As you go up to the top, you're looking at obligated purchases. The far left, you're looking at something that's delayed gratification. At the far right, you're looking at something that's instant gratification.
Okay.
If you can zoom in on the top left, what you'll see is car buying.
Yeah, I see it there. Yep.
Okay,
Mainstream car buying. Yep.
Car buying is surrounded by other things that are slow obligations, like replacing your roof, going to the dentist. All of these areas actually have insanely predictable cash flow. PE companies seem to love them for roll-up strategies because they can then innovate them pretty easily and compound the growth, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at where Carvana is, which is not too far away from the regular car buying, it's just drifted a little bit towards instant gratification. That's them seeking out blue ocean.
Yeah.
But if you look down, right, towards where Ferrari or Porsche is, which is down in the optional, like you don't need a Porsche, right? That's starting to bring you into more experiential. And so as you go either direction, what you'll also see are marketing channels that help you get to that direction. So if I'm trying to be more like Porsche, then I'm having events at my dealership. Events are a very optional, slow thing, right? If I'm trying to be like more on the instant gratification side, then I'm going to be doing TikTok. I'm going to be doing Instagram Reels. I'm trying to get people that are impulsivity-based buyers, right? So each one of these, actually, you can draw a line from where you are to the marketing channel as a path to get more and more of the blue ocean that area would capture. So everybody sort of starts in that top left area, but then can find little pockets where they can go, you know what? Like I know for a fact right now, the undervalued mediums are probably in the bottom left in traditional, which is crazy because I've been a digital guy my entire life. But what I realized is like, no one would send a wedding invitation through email.
Right.
Right? Like if you have something important to say, you would use direct mail. You'd use the slowest, most optional thing to get in front of that person, right?
Is that right?
Oh,
I don't know.
debate
In today's
it.
world,
I love
I'm not
it.
sure. I'm not sure that is correct. Like anymore, nobody goes to the mailbox to pick up a piece of mail. So I
think wedding
get your
invite
point.
is a very specific one, right? Aside from that, there's a lot of junk that comes in the mail.
I never.
100% of it is a lot of it is still meaningless. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you
Most of
actually
it.
showcase effort in your direct mail, it'll work. 100%.
Yeah.
I'll ask you guys a question. Like, think about this. You have $1 million to spend right now. You go spend $500,000 on producing like getting a great cast together, making a beautiful ad. Then you spend the other $500,000, and you can either spend it on TV or you spend it on OTT.
Yep.
Right? Or YouTube pre-roll. If you're a viewer, which one inherently feels like it has more meaning, even if it's the same exact ad?
Yuli, what do you got?
Yeah. OTT.
Hell no. What are you talking about? Wrong. If I saw a Doritos ad on the Super Bowl versus a Doritos, the same exact Doritos ad on YouTube pre-roll, digital marketing.
Yeah, pre-roll. Yeah.
And exactly. Digital marketing inherently actually feels cheap, right? Digital marketing is almost the way of saying, I subconsciously am telling the consumer I paid the least amount of money to get in front of your eyeballs.
But when it comes to effective connection with that consumer, the way digital media can saturate and give a message over and over again, to your point, it may feel less, but it's actually more effective at delivering the message. Yes, no? And that's got to be our last one because we got 5 seconds left in the show. What would you say?
Oh, shoot. I would say no. I would say
saturation. So now you're looking at saturation versus quality.
Yeah, I would say depending on the strategy of the dealership, if you're trying to just hit as many eyeballs as possible, fair. But if you're trying to generate meaning, which is going to be more important in an AI world, like an AI world starts delivering you things instantly, but at the same time,
you want the blue ocean.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be different from everybody else.
Yeah.
Ben Hadley, I hate to cut you, founder of AutoGenius. It's been an
bro.
incredibly interesting conversation. Thanks for showing us how to seek out those areas where we can deliver the best value to our customers every single time. Appreciate you being on the show, sharing your perspective.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Ben.
Dude, we had a lot of great conversations just going in the last 20 seconds here. Yoga Car said most cases car purchases is an emotional purchase unless the car totally broke apart. Lauren Klein, thanks. We are all old car guys. And then, of course, Lauren Klein also says the operational possibilities are endless if you're using that data correctly. And I think that is true, right?
Yeah.
So, but good show today. And we learned
Great
something
show.
about ChatGPT. I'm going to go out and research AWS, like the sterile room for protecting data, because intuitively I've known I don't want to put data out there.
For sure.
So that is smart. And to our Daily Dealer Live audience, thanks for watching Daily Dealer Live, where we break down the biggest moves in the car business as they happen. Don't forget, we're here live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. So if this is your world, hit subscribe, like, turn on those notifications so you never, ever miss a beat. And we'll see you next episode, Wednesday, everybody.
We'll see you guys.